the scope of this is amazing. Like, it's so big. I'd never thought of this perspective. It's hard to judge history through a modern lens.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Chris Creates the World. Today we are not in the Ruhr area, we are in Berlin. We've come back to Berlin for a special guest appearance. A friend from the US, if you've been watching the vlogs, you might remember Colby here. He's over here visiting, and so I thought we would go into Berlin and show you guys his reactions to some of the things that we did last summer and just some of the other interesting things here in Berlin. So we're here in the Tiergarten to start things off, right by the Victory Column. We checked it out briefly. So the Victory Column is this massive structure that goes up, and it's just this pinnacle to celebrate the victory of Germany between the Schleswig Wars and then also victories over Austria and France. It's this cool memorial. You can go up inside. We chose not to do it. It looks kind of cool, and it's fun just to go see it on the bottom even, and it's right in the center of the Tiergarten here. We've been here for about 12 hours. We got in last night. So real quick, Colby, what are your first takes on Germany in the first 12 hours?
I really liked the bratwurst. It was delicious.
So we arrived at the Berlin Hauptbahnhof, and there was a little party going on outside, a little kind of fair. And so it was the perfect introduction to Germany with some bratwurst. But we're gonna keep going on, seeing some other cool sights and seeing our reactions to it a little bit later on down the trail. Plot twist. There's a strange noise and we cannot figure out what it is. And it's a little bit eerie. You call it Hansel and Gretel-ish, Colby.
I did, because we're walking through the woods trying to find this noise in Germany. I feel like we're gonna get eaten by a witch.
This is so weird. We're just walking along and all of a sudden this starts playing. It feels like it's coming out of the trees. We'll update you further. Update for you. So you come out of the woods, you keep walking through the Tiergarten, and you come to what's called the Carillon. At least that's what it says on the map here, and it's this big tower with all these bells in it, this big glockenspiel sort of thing, and it's just playing. So it's actually pretty cool, but it's still a little eerie, still a bit odd, but we're gonna keep moving on. And now we are at the Bundestag building, and last summer I tried to get here, but you have to make reservations. So this summer I was like, ha, now I know the secrets. I'm gonna go a few days in advance to get tickets. But you gotta be smarter than that. You have to do it a couple weeks in advance if you wanna get tickets up and go to the Dome or anything like that. But we're still here, and so we thought we'd look at it. It's really cool. It says Dem Deutscher Volke, the German people on the front. So I really wanna get up into the Dome at some point, but we'll see. I have Colby here for his reaction on that, but also
Willkommen in Deutschland.
Käsebrezel, so we'll try it out here. Very German here with Brezel.
That's a good pretzel.
It's got the cheese on there. No one does pretzels like Germany. The German Brezel with a B is like one of the original pretzels. They're super good here. You can get them at like every bakery. So we're gonna keep enjoying this cheese Brezel, and we'll catch you at the next little stop down the road. All right, and continuing on, we went and saw the Brandenburg Bridge and also the memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe. So I saw both of those last year in my Berlin video, so you can go check those on out. But I wanted to give you guys kind of Colby's reaction to it, and that's the first time I told them the proper name, the memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe. And those last two sites, what stuck out to you?
The Murdered Jews of Europe memorial was really eerie, really unsettling as you walk through it. Felt like you were gonna get surprised at every corner. You did get surprised occasionally by someone just walking up. You'd hear people laughing, and then you'd turn one corner and it would block all the noise, so laughter would just disappear immediately. It was an interesting experience. A memorial designed to like make you feel.
I thought the same thing. It's like, it's fun and it's eerie, like all at the same time. People are running around like playing tag and stuff, but then this feeling of uncertainty designed into it. I agree, it was really interestingly made. The Brandenburg Gate, the iconic Berlin destination.
It was interesting to see the pictures that you showed me of the same gate that I was standing at before Nazi Germany, and then being there today. And obviously this country's grown, changed, moved. It's an interesting place.
Yeah, to see like how something can mean different things throughout these different times of history. Like, it's weird and fascinating. It's an interesting place. So yeah, Berlin's like a fascinating city. There's no other place like it in the world. Some cultural spots there. Then we're gonna get to some post-war stuff here coming up the next parts of the vlog. And the next steps we took were to go to the Checkpoint Charlie and then the Topography of Terror, kind of like an outdoor museum. So it's got this portion of the Berlin Wall that goes along, and then also talks about the rise and fall of Nazi Germany and the implications afterwards and how kind of the wall became. The Topography of Terror I thought was obviously fascinating. You guys know my interest in that kind of stuff as well, but I wanted to get Colby's take on a few things before I shared my take.
It was super interesting. They name their museums here with really dark names, and I found that interesting. Topography of Terror tells me that they're sorry and that they're not trying to hide it, which I think is interesting and cool.
I agree. You know, how do you tackle that? But it's presented and documented and hard to even like imagine now. And then my thoughts on Checkpoint Charlie is it's super awkward. Like, I think it's weird. It's just got like all these signs of like, now leaving the American sector. It's just, I don't know, it feels weird. Did you have any thoughts on it?
I liked it. I thought it was cool to hear British and American music, like the rock and roll that I grew up with, at a random shop in Berlin with a ton of American and British influence. It was neat to me.
Definitely interesting to kind of like see the influence of it all in the American sector, the British sector, how it helped shape the community for sure. Some different takes here, and it's good. But as mentioned, we're gonna move on. All right, and it's the next morning here. We are to our final stop in our quick trip here to Berlin. And one thing that I think is interesting to see and react to is the Soviet War Memorial at Treptower Park. We visited it last video. Again, I'll put it on the link up here at the end, so check it out. I'll give you a bit more details, but kind of get another reaction here as well. All right, cool. So you got these two pillars that come up here, a red rock representing the Soviet flag.
The scope of this is amazing. Like, it's so big.
And then you've got these two praying soldiers with the PPSH machine gun in hand. So you can see the statue in the foreground. It's a Russian officer holding a child standing on top of a broken swastika with a massive sword.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't see that was a broken swastika.
The story goes that this is commanding officer in the Red Army, and so he saw a German child in this broken building and saved this German child's life. So the Soviet Union came and saved this German girl from the terror of Nazi Germany and broke the swastika, and he's got this big sword showcasing his power. There's a lot to take in there, but that's sort of the background of it.
That's cool. I'm excited to go see it a little closer.
All right, we've kind of done some wandering around here, looked at the different pillars going on with the different facades and some of that stuff that I showed you last year. Again, just an interesting reflection to kind of see another part of history that from an American standpoint is quite interesting, but I wanted to get Colby's thoughts on it because you kind of heard a lot of my thoughts last year in the other video.
It's super cool. I'd never thought of this perspective. I'd known that they were allies, but I'd always thought of them as tentative allies. We haven't had great relationships with Russia for the last 80 years that I know of. I feel like we're friends with Germany. It's weird to be here in Berlin with a statue of a Russian man standing on a swastika with a sword, conquering fascism. Everyone views themselves as the hero. It's hard to judge history through a modern lens, but it's cool to see like that we were able to come together and conquer Nazism. Everyone agrees that Nazism's bad.
Well, we talked a bit about this while the camera was off, but you won't find this on a lot of like destination lists and things. Like a friend recommended it to me. From a cultural standpoint, really interesting to come and see and experience and take in. Like, it's not a huge tourist attraction. There's people here, but there's not like a massive group. It's a fascinating place to come visit, so I recommend throwing it on your list. The park structure is cool if nothing else. If you don't care about the history, it's a cool statue, and the whole garden layout is pretty interesting. But anyways, that's gonna end our quick trip here to Berlin. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing our reactions to things here. So if you have anything interesting to recommend next time, or any parts of the video you particularly enjoyed, make sure to write me in the comments and let me know what you thought. And there are Amazon links in the description below if you want any travel gear, some backpacks, paddleboards, that kind of stuff. And if you want to see some more German travel vlogs, I'm going to be doing hopefully a bit more of that, especially in Western Germany this summer. So make sure you hit the subscribe button to come hang out the rest of the time. You might even see a little bit more of this guy. But as always, I hope that this video inspired you to get out there and see a bit more of the world, to chase your dreams, and to experience new things. The world is out there. You have your hopes and dreams and visions for a reason. And I hope this video inspired you to get out there and go create the world.